Okay, everybody. Welcome to today's partner meeting for October. We're really happy to have all of you here. Today, I will present myself quickly. I'm Martin from Nordic Circular Hotspot. I've been working here for 5 years on this and also co-project lead on the Nordic Circular Summit this year, which will be in Helsinki. So we'll say a few words about that later today. We also have two guest speakers today here, which will go into today's topic later on. So today we will have normally we will have a welcome and introduction from new partners. We don't have any new ones this time, but we have circular news and updates, what's happening around in the Nordics. We have the theme on the month this month, which will be industrial symbiosis, where we have Peter Carlson with us from Chalmers Industry. And we have a presentation from Nordic Innovation Lab, one of our partners in the Nordic Circular Hotspot. And we will have a bit about the summit in the end and our topics, and the tickets are out and all the news on that part. So, since last time, our colleague in the Nordic Circular Hotspot, Catherine Barth, has been in South Africa Circular Economy Hotspot to read some of her key takeaways from the travels and what they're working on. You can go to our LinkedIn webpage and see the main points from that travel. The Nordic Circular Design Program is developing and keep up the good work. So check out also that one from Nordic Innovation, which is a really interesting program. Also, the Danish Ocean Cluster have had their kickoff event the 25th of September. So for those of you who maybe have heard about the Iceland Ocean Cluster, working a lot on utilizing side streams, using, among other things, fish skin to make rehab for fire injuries and other things. It's a really good cluster in how they work on utilizing the side streams. So now they get going also in Denmark on this work, which is really exciting. So check that out. The seasonal event on circular and regenerative food systems, I will come back to a bit. We had that 2 weeks ago. And then upcoming, the Norwegian government will have their circular strategy workshop the 16th of October coming up as well. So hopefully we will get things into action there. We're not very impressed at the moment, but hopefully that will continue and get better. And then on the good side, the Finland government has come out with their circular economy Green Deal. It's a voluntary commitment in which participant organizations can commit to reducing their use of natural resources and setting effective goals, and to take action to promote low carbon circular economy. So it has 5 main areas. It's resource-wise, built environment, industry-based on circular economy, sustainable consumption and business, material efficiency, energy systems, renewing food systems. So it's going quite deep, so I recommend everybody to check it out and go in and read about it. It's exciting news from Finland, and hopefully starting to change something there. Yes. So 2 weeks ago, we had an event on circular and regenerative food systems. As we all know, the Nordic food systems are quite import driven. We are not that connected as we want to do. So one of our goals here is also to get going on a working group for transitioning the Nordic food market as part of the Nordic Circular Hotspot. So we hope that will be news for the future, but we are working hard now to create that part. On the agenda there, we had Maria Teresa Pisani from UNICE. We had Johan Siedenmark from X Foundation and Resource talking about the side streams of oat milk production. We had Mira Svartnes Thorsen talking about the footprint of measuring food material flows on city level. In a festival, and then we had Re London talking about how they use material flow analysis in all the work they do in London. On top of that, we had Volare and Ture Parvinainen, which talked about sourcing from local agriculture production and create more feed and food on side streams from that in the Nordics. We had the Danish Ocean Cluster talking about their work, which is also very exciting, and we had kind of a fun part from Rotterdam with the floating farm, which is fully circular. So a very interesting case there. I recommend all of you to go into our web pages and find that on the news and events, and you can find the recordings. It's open and free for all to watch. We also, 2 days ago, reached 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Nordic Circular Hotspot, to build that up through 5 years is massive work and it's a lot of communication. So it's important for us to also reach many people with the knowledge and information we spread out on circular economy. So I will then leave the word now for today's topic, which is industrial symbiosis, and give the word to Peter Carlson. And then you can share your screen and introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you, Martin. Let me try to share that one. So hopefully you see full screen. Yes, and you can hear me as well. Good. Yes, my name is Peter Carlson, and I work for Chalmers Industriteknik. We are a foundation in Sweden, based in Gothenburg, a part of the Chalmers University family, so to say, but we are a standalone foundation with about 100 employees, with half of us with a PhD degree. So it's a high academic level, and we try to be a bridge between the university and the society and the business environment. Yeah, just very short to explain, why I'm here. And one of the areas we work with in CIT is circular economy. That's my group. And my focus topic inside circular economy is industrial symbiosis. I have worked with the topic for more than 10 years now in different organizations as private consultant. I worked in a municipality in Sweden, Sotenäs municipality. I will talk short about that later. As a symbiosis developer, and I've been here at CIT for 4 years now. So I got the topic, the value potential of circular industrial symbiosis area, co-location of value creation for the new market. I call it industrial symbiosis, and I will try to give some short examples and a bit learnings from my experience during the years. But the value creation, I used to start with industrial symbiosis. We try to build 1 + 1 is equal to 3 or hopefully more. That by collaborating, we create more value than if an actor worked by themselves. And I see industrial symbiosis as one way or one method in order to create a more circular economy. So one of many. So it's not the solution, is one of the solutions to create a more sustainable and circular economy, as I see it. But what is industrial symbiosis? It's same as for circular economy. It's not one definition, but you can say that it's one waste or one byproduct from one sector can be, or actor can become a raw material for someone else. And I also like to show that the concept is very broad. So I think can include like waste streams, byproducts, energy, water, for example, which is quite easy to understand. Waste heat from someone can become a heat source for someone else. But it could also be collaboration between logistics, expertise, service, equipment, infrastructure. So it's a very broad definition. Yeah, at least this definition. But I think I see when I work with industrial symbiosis, it's you often see potential in quite different areas where collaboration is the key in order to utilize resources more efficient. And industrial symbiosis focus mainly in the production phase, or perhaps end of life phase. And here is an old report from Ellen MacArthur Foundation that showed that about 70% of all waste is from production, not from consumer products. And the focus on industrial symbiosis is in the production phase, I would say. So it differs quite a lot with many other activities around circular economy where you look into the actual product. And I think this is quite exciting as well. Yeah, it started, or the concept was established in Denmark, in Kalundborg. As you might heard of, they have the 50th anniversary a few years ago. So it's a long established network where the industrial actors are driving the development continuously by working in symbiosis with each other. And they are sharing many different kind of resources between them in different combinations. And I think this shows that industrial symbiosis is not just something you build, it's a process which are continuously developing. And Kalundborg is still like the main example of industrial symbiosis worldwide. And I also want to show some other Swedish example, might be less known, at least for some of you. And also, like from the topic, the value created from the new market, and I think we see in Sweden, at least, there are a new category of companies growing, like this company Warm. They call themselves as a regenerative industry. So their business is to work with industrial symbiosis, more or less. They have just started the first greenhouse where they produce, since production start in May, they will produce about 8,000 ton tomatoes per year in one greenhouse. And that's about 15% of the Swedish market of tomatoes. So it's a huge greenhouse. It's like 500 meters long, just to imagine how big a greenhouse actually can be. And they build their whole business on taking care of waste heat from the neighbor paper mill. So they choose this location because the waste heat, and that they could take care of this in the greenhouse. And they are now looking into create new business around in the Nordic countries. They have some projects in Sweden and I think in Denmark at the moment. And the business is to utilize waste heat. That's the core, and then they build circular solutions around that in big industrial scale. We have other similar things going on. For example, in Alby, it's in the northern part of Sweden, Ånge municipality, and it's a company who plan to produce hydrogen. But in the same time, they are not only looking for themselves that they are going to set up a hydrogen plant, they also look for a symbiosis area. So they see the business potential of creating a structure where other companies can integrate with the different streams, with oxygen and heat, especially. So in the same time now, there are, for example, a fish farm planning to establish in this industrial park. So it's again a company that they see industrial symbiosis as a way to make more business when they are setting up a new site. I told you about my background in Sotenäs municipality. It's in the Swedish west coast, a small municipality, about 9,000 inhabitants. And we started about 10 years ago now to draw a potential symbiosis map with different actors existing, but also there were some plans, some new business, as well as some crazy ideas how we can take care of different kind of waste streams. And during the years, more and more of these synergies and other has actually been implemented. So now the symbiosis map looks like this, and the core of this symbiosis network is based on seafood production units. You can see in the top left, Orkla, Lerøy, Marinor, who are processing seafood products. And one of the major symbiosis links here is, you can see in the center to the left, Rena Hav, who established a biogas plant and connect those companies. They take care of process water, treat that, they take care of biowaste, they produce biogas, which goes back to Orkla facility today. They produce organic fertilizer going to eco-labeled farm. And this was a start, but also we looked at other potential symbiosis connections in the municipality, and we saw that marine waste was a challenge. So with that, we actually started our marine recycling center today, focused on recycling of fishing gears from the whole Sweden. So it shows that the different scale of symbiosis, it could be the large scale with the large companies like Worm, like Orkla, Lerøy, Marinor, but also in very small scale, and it worked. And in the end, I want to show just another example where we started also very small scale in Bengtsfors, also in the western part of Sweden. We tried to engage different actors in the municipality and started to map potential with a bottom-up perspective. And as you can see, just for a starting workshop, a lot of ideas was mentioned, and it started different kind of working groups or working topics And yeah, here this page is from in Swedish, but maybe you can read, some of you. But you see that together with the industry and the designers, a lot of different products were created with waste streams, like a small table here, a lamp, but also covers for different kind of industrial settings. So by working together, a lot of the both small scale and large scale waste resources were utilized um, in the local setting, which created more jobs, uh, as well as less emissions and a better utilize of the resources existing in the region. So it was just a very short pitch from me. If you want to know more, please contact me. And I hope I got some, like, at least some sparks of interest in these short minutes. So please come back if you are interested.
Thank you so much, Peter. I think we have time for like one or two questions if anybody has some. I think it's really interesting that you bring up how you work with this on a local level at different areas in Sweden, and also connecting also to the food systems that we talked about earlier as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always interesting to see how like industrial symbiosis at the location, how that works, and up to the sizes of maybe like regional symbiosis, like where do you find the right volumes also, and where can you utilize different side streams of the production? Do you have any thoughts on that part?
First, like the companies or the flows, they don't see a border of a municipality or a region. It doesn't matter. So it's important to be like open-minded, and depending on the resource flow, the distance can be longer or it needs to be shorter. If you're working with gold, you can have quite long distance. If you're working with steam, shorter, for example. But I think that it works in different scales, like this huge industrial scale, it works, but also in the small scale with the small companies that they can make profit out of working together in the symbiosis. And it also creates a more a business community that work with innovation and development together, not only one by one. So what we can see after a while, companies from different sectors and different sizes, they start to work with the innovations together. And when that happens, you get a lot of new things coming up, which does not exist if you work in your sectors or as business as usual. So we see another benefits from working together on the local level.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll give you one last question from Jan Thomas. You can ask it yourself if you're here and can take up your picture. But 1 more minute, and then we will move on. But one question from Jan Thomas here.
Yeah. Thank you. No, I was interested to see if you have some insight into what has been the most important drivers to create these industrial symbiosis. What are the main forces, and also to what extent can government regulation encourage this?
I think regulation is one of the key drivers sometimes, and it differs from case to case. If we look at Worm, the tomato greenhouse, it's business, I would say. They see a big business potential. If we look at Sotenäs with the creation of the biogas plant and processed water treatment plant, it was from regulation. It started. It was the driver because The food processing companies, they needed to develop a better wastewater treatment. Otherwise, they are losing their permits. So someone else came from outside with knowledge about this situation they had and sort of solved the problem for them. So the companies, they didn't had to invest by themselves in new treatment plants, and as well for the municipality. So they came and did the investment, and they take care of the problem, and the company pays for that as a service, so to say. So that was a regulation, definitely. And another thing we can see, for example, in Bengtsfors with some paper mills there, that they have high like climate and sustainability goals. One of them, they should be fossil free until 2030. And they see that, okay, we need to work smart in order to reach that kind of goals. So it's different. There are regulations, it's business, it's sustainability goals, for example, and different kind of strategies. If you look at on a regional level, for example, there are regional strategies how to often connected to sustainability or business development that you can anchor industry symbiosis on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Peter. We would have to move on in the program, but thank you so much for presenting for us and for answering questions here, and for all the good work you're doing, which is important as well.
Thank you.
Yes, so we'll move on quickly to today's partner presentation. So Arpit Bhutani will be here. Are you here from Circular Innovation Lab in Denmark?
Yes, Martin, I'm here, and my apologies. I will not be able to switch on the camera. I'm at the boarding gate right now. And the project is ending this month, so I need to present it to NCH. Thank you for this opportunity. May I just share my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Just
Should be set up.
Yes, it says I need to quit and reopen Zoom to share the screen because of some permissions on Mac. Just a minute, I'll just be joining in 10 seconds. Sorry.
That's no problem. I think in the meantime, then we can, yeah, we'll see when he gets back. But Paul Lindquist, maybe you can say hi just in the meantime here, and just show your face. It's a new partner. I will give you a few minutes after. But I said something wrong in the start here, and that is that we have not gotten any new partners since last time, and that's a lie because we got and yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
So,
Thank you, Martin. Yeah, I don't think it was a lie. I think it was just some nobody told you. So
so
Yeah.
we just to say hi to you now. We'll give the work back to Arpit, but after that I will give you 2 seconds to say who you are and what company you work in as well.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
okay, then we can see your screen. But we can't hear you if you are saying anything. Are you talking, Arpit? Arpit, sorry.
Just doing it.
We saw us. Yeah. Now.
Yes. Now it's good?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, and apologies for the technical glitch. My name is Arpit. I am one of the founders of Circular Innovation Lab. To give you all a brief background, we were one of the founding partners of the Nordic Circle Hotspot, but also we are a Danish think tank that works on accelerating the transition to circular economy globally. We work primarily with universities, UN agencies, and national governments primarily in mission to devise circular economy policies on several projects, on several global roadmaps. Um, as part of this, we reached out to Interreg, which is part of the European Regional Development Fund for Southern Scandinavia, looking at Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, and along with Swedish School of Textiles and Aalborg Business School, we presented this idea to Interreg to develop a project on north-south circular value chains within textiles, looking at Scandinavian workwear companies. And this is actually a pre-project that we submitted earlier this year and got approved for 6 months. And this is ending in October. And the purpose of this presentation to NCH is that now, first of all, NCH is the most active organization in the region that cross-cuts all the organizations on circular economy, but also that we are now planning to submit the bid for a 5-year plan to the EU after the approval of these findings. So the project has 3 partners, like I said: Swedish School of Textiles, Circular Innovation Lab, and Aalborg Business School. And apart from that, we have a reference group that independently evaluates the project and how we've done, how we're doing. It's Lifestyle Design Cluster, Dansk Fashion and Textile, Circular Copenhagen, Royal Academy Design School, Textile Revolution, and in Sweden we have Techo, Profu, and an independent expert, Swedish School of Textiles, and NFNTA. The role of this pre-project is to propose a shared circular value chain governance approach for selected Scandinavian workwear companies. We have identified opportunities and solutions for circular transition, and the idea is to generate a joint multi-year project where practical circular solutions will be developed and tested and assessed in relation to commercial viability and scalability. What are we doing at the moment? We are doing 4 things. We are doing circular textile value chains, mapping, clarification of market opportunities, diagnosing circularity readiness. We're looking at understanding the concept of shared circular governance, set up a joint model for shared governance to facilitate north-south circular supply chains, stakeholder engagement, as well as co-learning environment. So the idea also why we say north-south is that when we talk about circular economy in textiles, one of the key argument is that while we look at fashion brands, nobody is actually looking at workwear brands that have a lot of chemicals that are good in terms of at least their usability, but also are very, very linear. And a lot of these goods are actually procured from the global south. So we want to kind of bridge that gap between the SMEs that in workwear brands that buy these workwears from the global south and sell it in the global north. So therefore developing a shared governance model for suppliers as well as the buyers. Shared governance is, like I said, about involving all the stakeholders when regulation is inefficient to achieve collective goals. In fact, in a lot of regulations, workwear brands have been out and have not been kept in the circular economy strategies. We are also working on preparing a white paper, again, looking at shared governance, contextualizing, and findings. In terms of our road mapping that we are doing 3, we're looking at 3 criteria, looking at status quo to evaluate at what extent are you currently engaged in certain circularity aspect in your company. So we've shortlisted a few companies and we are evaluating it to what extent their perceived factors such as EU policies, consumer, supply chain are prioritized in their circularity aspects and the readiness level of these Scandinavian workwear brands. How we define circularity aspects, we look at 4 main areas: product circularities, circularity in processes, circularity supply chain data, and relationship and collaborations for supporting circularity. That also includes their relationships with the Global South and their suppliers. In terms of methodology, we have 5 shortlisted Scandinavian workwear brands, 3 from Sweden and 2 from Denmark. We are also doing a lot of data collection and data analysis, different surveys and interviews, and also a gap analysis. This is the gap analysis that we have done for each of the company. Unfortunately, we cannot name the company exactly because of the NDA, that at what level we found that their circularity gaps have been there. But for academic perspectives, we have done that analysis. So key takeaways for this project is a cross-case analysis across 15 circularity aspects in 4 areas, comparison of status quo, pressure and readiness levels, gap analysis in case of status quo, diagnose market opportunities, strategic requirements, and highlight key future circular needs for these companies. I can share the slides with you all later on, and also share more details on the project. Also looking at how we can look at inviting more partners for the main project that we are going to submit by February. Thank you, Martin, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Arpit. And thank you for your presentation. So I think we would just have to, we are a bit behind on time, so I will just continue a bit in the program. Send us the presentation so we can also help distribute after the meeting. Both of you, if you also can do that, Peter, that'd be good. Yes, we will continue here. Yes, so we will say a bit about the summit now as well. The Nordic Circular Summit coming up. Just a short reminder in the start that we will have the partner sessions as we always have the second day. For more info on that, you can contact me, and we will also push out information on this in the coming weeks. So be aware of that. Note the days 18th and 19th of November. And this year, I will say a bit about the topics, what we're having on this year, has also been shared in social media and on our web pages. But this year we are connecting to the Slush event, which is the biggest event for startups and tech in Europe, actually. So we're putting the summit this year, the 2 days before Slush starts. So connecting to that, the topic this year is the enterprise of circular economy. And we will talk about how both entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship can close the circular economy gap in the Nordics. Talking about scaling of business models, talking about scaling, changing business models as, for example, Philips Lighting have done with Signify. There are a lot of good cases we will lift up this year. So we have 4 subtopics. In all summits, we look at the connections between the nature, the humans, the society we have created together, and the market, which makes the transactions between the 3 of them. So this year we will have 1 session on nature value, talking about ecosystems, regenerative business, biomimicry, learning from nature, valuing nature, and so on. We will have 1 session on the circular business for the new global market, taking in the new global market context where some value chains have shifted, and also look at how that creates opportunity for creating more circular systems, both on food resilience and other production as critical raw materials, several issues. We have 1 session on global leadership, where we will take in our global network. It's the new leadership for circularity, where we have people coming in from ASEAN in Africa, South Africa, Circular Hotspots, Poland, Circular Hotspots, ESPS, the stakeholder platform for circular economy in the EU, So it will be a very good session bringing in the network we have all around the world, working on the same issues as we do in the Nordic Circular Hotspots. Then we will have one session on our digital society and the intelligence of our digital society, talking about enabling technologies and AI, and how we can use that for good to create a more circular market going forward. Digital product passports, MFAs, having the overview, creating new systems, etc. And that will be made also together with Nordic Innovation and the big data sharing project, which they have, which I recommend everybody to check out as well. And then for the first time this year, we will have the Nordic Circular Award together with Loopform in Denmark. So it's a first collab with them, where we will gather 25 startups from the Nordic countries, 5 from each country, and we will announce a winner as the Nordic Circular Company of the Year, which is exciting. So also on our LinkedIn pages now, we have out communication about that, where you can suggest companies for that if you have any favorites. And we'll have a roundup session, of course, and I will say also that the tickets for the physical attendance for the main program, the 18th of November, is now out. So I recommend everybody to go into our web pages to find tickets and to secure your spot in Helsinki to be there physically. Yes, so as you see, here is the main program. The main session of the day, the Enterprise of Circular Economy, will last 2 hours in the morning. Then we will have 2 separate stages where we have new nature values on one and circular business for the new global market on the other. And then 2 parallel sessions more on the intelligence of our digital society and new leadership for circularity before we end the day with the Nordic Circular Award and the Summer of the Day. Then the second day, we will fill up with partner sessions, and we will also have our transition group as the food transition group we have talked about, having their sessions on the second day, and the textile group, which we also are creating at the moment. For those of you that doesn't know what a transition group is, it is kind of focused groups where we create a partnership in the Nordics to work on specific issues, as could be construction, where we have one project now where Jan Thomas, who asked the question earlier today, is part of. It could be the food system, it could be textiles, it could be a lot of different things. We also had one on policy last year, where we made a policy overview of the Nordics. So then I will say that next meeting is the 30th of October at 1 o'clock, usual time. So I will end the presentation there, and I will open up. Everybody can take on their screen and their mics. And then I will say hello to Paul Lundqvist again and give him a few minutes to introduce himself and what company are you from and everything. You can get 5 minutes if you want to. So welcome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yeah, we are a very recent member of Nordic Circular Hotspot. So yeah, I'm Paul Lundqvist, co-founder and CEO of Environmental Impacts Academy. And what we do is we are an education company. So the only thing we do is we teach environmental life cycle assessment, and which we see as an enabler of the green transition and also a way of ensuring that circular businesses and circular products are actually always also sustainable, because it's not automatically like that always. A paper cup could be seen as circular because you can recycle it, but maybe not the most sustainable, for example. So that's the reason why we wanted to join Nordic Circular Hotspot too. We see there is a need to raise the awareness of life cycle thinking, life cycle assessment as a methodology in all businesses, and I see there's probably a lot of interest in this group. So that's why we are here.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you, Paul, and as well for everybody else. If you have something specific you'd want to show at some partner meeting as well, just let us know so we can try to make space for that as well. Also for topics, if you have ideas about topics we haven't mentioned in earlier meetings, we try to have a good division of it in many different cases, because the circular economy is wholesome. Like, you have to go into all industries and you have to look at it as a part of the whole society and our whole economy. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, sure. We can talk about that. I mean, I'd be happy to
yeah,
give a presentation about the connection between life cycle assessment and circularity, and how it fits together and all that.
that's very
Maybe
good.
not now.
Yeah. So everybody here, if there are some reflections, questions to some of the speakers we have here, we have Arpit and Peter here still. And now is the time. If not, I will just remind everybody to, if you want to have partner sessions and want more information on that, for example, just send us an email, martin@naturalstate.no. I can't promise you that I will answer the same day, because it is a big it is a big task to lead the project on creating a big conference as the Nordic Circular Summit. So I get a lot of emails, but I promise you I will get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope as many as possible wants to check out the opportunities for partner sessions, because it's a good way to bring out the knowledge we have in our partnership all around the Nordics. So with that, is there any last comments or thoughts here? If not, I will say thank you for everybody coming. Check out our web pages and follow us on all the news coming up on the summit. The Nordic Circular Summit this year is going to be really exciting. It's going to be at the old Aalto Executive University for Trade, which is a beautiful architecturally nice building. So I recommend everybody to take the travel, and we will also prepare an evening event where we can network, and we will facilitate for people to meet within the network. So last year we had 2,500 people watching from all over the world, and we are aiming higher this year. So we hope that it will be a good event. So 30th of October, I see you all back here. Bring some friends, and thank you so much for coming to this meeting today. Bye, everybody.